Hello and welcome to this week's Profit Maximizer Moment. This show is dedicated to helping business owners dramatically improve their bottom line with our weekly profit maximizing tips that you can use now. You would think after all these weeks of doing this, I would remember my own intro. Sorry, get sidetracked and busy. I'm your host and coach, Wayne Belisle. I'm also the founder of a local CPA firm that works with business owners to help them make more money and keep more of it from the IRS. I do that with our profit coaching programs and our tax planning system that has saved my clients millions of dollars, all legally. Look, I love my clients, like I say every week, but I don't want to share a jail cell with them. Today, we're going to talk about from connected to hyper-connected, which we'll get into in a minute. The first support for today's show, and I forgot to get it, is brought to you by Profit Maximizer Publishing. Published my book, The 90-Day Profit Reset. You really want to get that thing. It kind of helps you with getting all the. Sorry about that. Helps you. Really, the goal was to get you from wherever you're at now to increasing your profits dramatically in the next 90 days. Keep your ears open. We're finally getting our act together, getting our coaching program up and running. Yeah, I was going through some old blog articles and I found one I wrote a long time ago, and it's kind of from connected to hyper connected. I thought it was kind of funny, sometimes actually. But I used to get up more and watch the Sunday morning shows when the rest of the family was hadn't even gotten out of bed yet. I'm a nerd. I don't watch it as much because it just frustrates me. So Tom Friedman was a guest on one show, and he had the following quote, which I liked. I recently opened my book, The World is Flat, that he had published in 2004. And that's 20 years ago. And looked in the index. Even though the book was about how the world was becoming more connected, it didn't have anything about Facebook in the book. Never mind all this, X, Twitter, Rumble, YouTube, all the other stuff that we're running into since then that didn't exist in 2004. And he went on to say, this made me realize that Facebook for most people didn't exist. The cloud was in the sky. Twitter was a sound. An application was sent to a college for admittance. 4G was a parking spot. And LinkedIn was a prison. And that for most people, Skype was a typo. Wow, talk about change, huh? And most business owners are just seriously still not really using the internet the way they should. And, I had to question why. I mean, up until, and it's really changed dramatically, and it depends on, you're looking at who, generational. That's kind of a joke. I was listening to somebody, I was listening to the Bible in a year. And they were saying, oh, you can subscribe. And somebody was joking, well, if you're over 40, it's not a magazine subscription, okay? If you're over 50, I think he said, you don't have to pay anything for it. If you're under 40, you know how to do it. If you're over 40, get your grandchild or somebody to subscribe for you. It really is kind of true. We need to look as a business owner where we're getting our clients from. Traditional marketing still kind of works for the older crowd, but not as much, okay? Because many of the older, now what are older, my age and older, have been using the internet too, and still we're more hip to what's going on, I guess, if that's still a word. But you still have a lot of people who don't. So, can I Venmo you? They don't know what the heck you're talking about. No, write me a check or something. And I was working with my daughter who's looking up, she's finally breaking out on her own. She's going to work with me for tax returns, but is doing bookkeeping. And I was explaining to her, you kind of need to get paid however the client wants to pay you. Younger people are going to want to do Cash App, Venmo, maybe PayPal is kind of in the middle, and older people are going to want to use their credit card and write you a check. So you need to be able to accept everything, and that's, as you're looking at business, it's the same thing with marketing. You need to be able to look out there and say, how do I get to my customer? It used to be very different than it once was. I would say as little as 5 years ago, 90% of my new clients came in the door because of referrals, or they happen to run by and see my sign. I don't do any advertising, okay, once you count these videos. Now it's like 50-50 are referrals and 50% are finding me online. You don't have to spend a lot of money. I don't spend a ton of money. I do these recordings once a week. That's it. Now I've hired somebody, and if you want to get somebody good, let me know, and I'll refer you to who does the work for me, who takes these videos and does all the emails in advance and distributes it to all the places it needs to go. It's still cheaper than getting somebody else. But I looked at the quote above that I read you at the beginning, and how things have changed so much in the last years. And now it's time for you as a business owner to ask. I had to ask myself these questions, and I think you need to ask some questions. What opportunities does the hyperconnectivity of today's world present to small business owners? Are there any opportunities out there that you need to take advantage of? Because if you don't, the next question is, what threats does it represent? Because if you're not taking advantage of it, one of your competitors is, or a new competitor will come in and wipe you out. It's as simple as that. Are my customers using this? Are they using something? Is there some platform or tool that they're using that I don't even know about? How do you find out? You ask them. you know, Ask them like I do. How did you find me? And well, I did a search. I found you. Okay. Then if you get to a point where it's 50-50, you need to be spending some effort to get your online search optimization going. All right. How will hyperconnectivity change the way my customers make buying decisions? My argument is, before anybody calls you anymore, they've already Googled you, or whatever platform they use. And Google's become like Coke, or Kleenex. It's just generic. They've already looked into you. They've read your reviews. They've looked and seen what's there. How will my competitors react to this hyperconnectivity? What questions are you asking for yourself about this? What questions should I be asking? Now let's throw a little hook in here. AI. And I'm not going to do the Kamala thing. AI is 2 letters. Yeah, whatever. I shouldn't make fun of people. But it's just like, oh my God, I'm not in kindergarten. Would you stop? Please. I was looking for somebody to, let's get off that. AI is basically going to change the way it's working. It's already happening. How can you use that in your business? Sadly, you need to be changing with the times. I had the misfortune of starting my business in 1991. And for 100 years before that, CPA firms did the same thing. They did tax returns, financial statements, bookkeeping, and tax returns, bookkeeping, and audits. Just about all of them did the same thing. All right. Between 1991 and now, we got QuickBooks that came in. We got Intuit that came in. H&R Block came in, with their online. Even the IRS has gotten into the thing where, if you're below a certain income, you get your tax return free. You got QuickBooks that's taken away a lot of the bookkeeping function for a lot of people. The rules for audits have gotten so crazy that unless you're a large firm, it's almost impossible to do. All that changed over the years. All right. And anybody who's doing a service business that's been in business long enough knows that I basically had to recreate my firm, and most everybody who's been in business that long has had to recreate their business 3 or 4 times since then. And I think with the speed of change happening so fast, you need to be able to do that more often. So you need to ask the questions that I put forward earlier. You need to do a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, threat. Go to my blog. If you go to my website, wjb-cpa.com. If you go there, you'll see at the top blog, you can just go to the blog and search for SWOT, SWOT analysis. I know I did a blog article on it. I probably will do another video on it sometime soon. You can go to YouTube, check and see if I did one. I think I did. Can't remember. Done too many of these now. But do one. I mean, you can search that: strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, threats. What you're looking to do is, what strengths do I have? How can I make more money from those strengths? What weaknesses do I have? How can I mitigate those? All right. What threats are on the horizon? Think about Blockbuster. Anybody remember them? That's because they didn't see Netflix as a threat. Netflix is running into trouble because they didn't see streaming 100% with getting all the other competitors they have. And some people are not even streaming anymore. So things change. And then SWOT: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. All right. You need to do that, but look at it from a connectivity. Where are your customers coming from? Where are they going to find you? This is not esoteric. This is something you seriously need to be looking at, and truthfully need to be looking at pretty much every year because that's how fast things are changing. Hey, until next time, this is Wayne Blau saying, let's make this our most profitable year ever. And I'll see you next week and have a great weekend. And I'll see you in church. God bless. And if I can figure out how to stop this, I will. Yeah, there we go. I lost the button. You have a great week, guys.